See, that's the only reason I didn't want to give any of them. Because I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, they'll just, how many people were in?
3, LaCarol, Jan. Hey guys, can y'all hear us? I'm not hearing any of you.
Yeah. Hello? Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Jan.
Jan.
Hey, Jan.
Ma'am?
I know that Pam was on the line about an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if she thought it was at 2, but maybe she'll log back in.
Okay.
Go down and share your screen.
The second girl is on.
You know what?
No. Yeah.
Not yet. Oh,
Share.
Don't give him a very big one. I know who.
What?
oh, we're waiting on Jan. Is this what this is?
No, she's her and Catherine both. All four of us. So.
I think we were waiting for Pam.
I'm trying to find it. Where is mute at? The yellow. Now you said something. Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not sure if Melissa is going to be able to join us or not. She said that she would do her best. So, do we want to go ahead and get started?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so I see Marcia and Nancy. Are you there?
I am.
Okay. Catherine,
Mm-hmm.
Luana, Pam,
Yes.
is Todd in there too?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's Bridget.
Bridget. Hello?
Bridget, okay. Is there anyone else?
Other than Pam, I don't think so. That's missing.
Okay, and Casson is here with me. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. I want to make one comment before we get started. I sent an email out, and I think that most people had responded that we had an offer to fill in as vice president,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to go ahead and invite or appoint her and ask her to go ahead and start with us at our next meeting. I received an email from Amy saying that she was all for whatever we needed to do. So unless somebody has a reason that we should not, I will go ahead and let her know that she's been appointed.
And I'm sorry, just for the record, can you say who we are discussing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me make sure that I do get her name right.
Isn't it Jana, right?
Jana Wright, yes.
Jana, and where is she from?
She is from South Ark College. She works in their Bradley County location.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi. I tried to call earlier and it said y'all weren't meeting and it hung up on me, so sorry if I...
Okay, so is everybody good with me contacting Jana and Amy and letting her know that we would like her to serve as vice president?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that. So, Catherine, do you want to start with the dashboard?
Sure, why not? Okay, so I think I'm not sure if everybody looked at it, but I know that Pam and Jan looked at it just to double check it for errors, and you guys did notice that the digital literacy section has the same menu as the job ready, and I'll fix that so that Technomedia is not a choice on the job ready portion of it.
You should be able to share your screen if you want, Catherine.
Oh, really? Okay. How do I do that?
Am I able to look at a screen if I don't have a camera?
Yeah.
If you logged into the Zoom.
Well, I tried to.
There you go.
You guys seeing it?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Yay.
Perfect.
Okay. Good deal. All right. So, and I'm going to have to go back and fix this, but if you look over here, this drop down menu for digital literacy is including ACT work keys curriculum, which obviously that's not a choice. And then the one that's for the job readiness has Technomedia on there, and that doesn't have any of that. So I'll make individual ones. That's a quick fix for me on my end, and then I'll resend that. But going back up to the top, that Places ID is on here now, and it's linked to each of the certificates so that you can see it at the top. And then we took off the wage test. So that is no longer on here. We fixed the, keep going down. Most of the other changes were down here under the digital literacy. I took out all those individual boxes so that now they just put in a date here where they finished. the digital literacy, I will say that we're still kind of trying to find out whether or not Education Essentials can change their passing rate to 85% or even 80% right now. What was it that you guys were telling me that they're showing their passing of digital literacy at? Jan, do you remember what, was it Pam that said?
I think it was 70, Catherine, that Jana had told.
But I thought
Saying that it was,
somebody had said that it was
at 70.
Yes, Jana had told me that that Essential Education does a certificate at 70%.
okay.
And then SIU Tech had also asked about it because they said that 70% was what was showing as completion, as mastery.
All right, so I guess we need to make a decision on whether we're just going to accept the passing scores that are in each different curriculum as passing, the minimum scores, or if we want a set minimum score.
Okay, I will say that I got an email from Aztec, and theirs is 80% for everything. And then I guess Essential Education is 70% for everything. If we use anything in ACT WorkKeys curriculum, there's, depending on what your level is, they can get a level 4 at like 40%.
Yeah, so see.
So, you know, that one, we may just want to use a level 4, a level 5, or whatever on those.
Yeah, that's kind of what they need to have finished a level 4
Right.
or been exempt of a level 4. So I can change that grading. I can put over here in this area, you know, what the equivalent score should be for the different curriculums, if you want like a key for that, if you want me to. Which would be actually down, it would be down here. Yeah, in this area.
That will probably be the best idea since everyone is using one or the other.
So you don't need to watch me put that in, but basically that's what I'm going to do is just put each one of them and what that should equal. There so that they know when they click the curriculum and select it that whatever date they're putting here as completed, that they've met that minimum. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that we can do right now. I don't personally think that 70% is a good enough score for mastery. You know, if we're sending people out saying that they have mastered something, but it's only at 70%, that's not what the program is.
Yeah, I agree.
But can we use it now, just pending whether they can change it?
Right, because I did leave a message for Beth and with Education Essentials, and I haven't heard back from her, so I don't know if she's on vacation or she just hasn't had a chance to call me back. Just to even see if it was possible. Are you guys on mute? Because I'm not hearing anybody except for Jan and Pam.
Yes, I muted myself.
Okay. So the other thing that I changed was I fixed under WorkKeys curriculum for the industrial certificate that they're going to do mechanics in an applied in WorkKeys curriculum, the mechanics, and they need to have passed a level 4 or be out of it.
Are we taking out all the others, like fluid dynamics and all
I mean,
that?
those are still options. And if that's something that's required for your local certificate, you can put that back in there. But I don't think any other program was requiring any of that stuff.
And most of it is in that mechanics lesson on WorkKeys.
It does. It does. It actually, Melissa, what we had talked about was because of the spatial, which one was it? The ARCO
Mechanical
test. Yeah, the mechanical insights test on ARCO basically lines up with the lessons in mechanics in WorkKeys curriculum. So since we never had lessons before, we were just giving them the aptitude test. We're saying that if you do mechanics in WorkKeys curriculum, we're doing that in place of having to take that mechanical spatial test in the ARCO book.
Okay.
Madam President, I'm sorry, where are we on the agenda? Are we clear on what we need as far as the digital literacy at 80% on the request form?
Okay, so yes, we're kind of discussing the dashboard and the digital literacy employability skills at the same time. So yes, I think so.
Madam President, from the last meeting, we had talked about that even though I think it was Essential Education did the 70%, is that correct? But we were going to keep it at 80% until we were able to have some comparison done? Is that what we're
right? That is what we discussed at the meeting, correct?
Okay, so the form as it stands is correct? Is the request form as it stands on the screen is correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For digital literacy, the 85 until we change it because we don't know what Essential Ed will do.
Well, we know it's 70% that they have adjusted it to as far as their system. The question is, where will we have the certification be? Will we keep it at 85% as it stands now?
Okay,
right.
that is what we said at the last meeting.
Okay, all right.
That Aztec does 80%, Essential Education does 70%. Do we need to keep it at the 85? Do we need to do 80, or do we need to do more research with both companies?
Yeah, I think Jana's gonna look at that when she comes back and give us the best. But I think at this point we're keeping it where we have it, where it stands.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the job readiness portion of it, there's not, like on ACT WorkKeys portion, there's not a 80%. There's a passing level 4, passing level 5, passing level 6. So that's why we were going to add the scoring guide in here.
Right.
Okay. So because I skipped over the Microsoft Office portion of it, that depends on, I added in Google Applied Digital Skills, but, and I changed the Technomedia to a standalone version. But that's to be talked about on the agenda. Is that still on the agenda for what we're going to do for the Office technology options?
Yes.
So we still don't really know. I've just got that on. I've added it, but we don't know if that's going to be acceptable or not until we talk later.
Catherine, go back to the employability skills, and so when you make that a drop down, will the scoring go along with the drop down? So if you choose one, will the scoring coincide with that?
Well, the way that we have the rest of the form, we just have the date that they completed it before. We didn't actually have scoring. that you, I mean, I can figure out how to do that. I'm not sure how to do that. That may be beyond my Excel capabilities. I may have to ask Melissa.
Catherine, it
Mhm.
may be part of your title. Like if you, like on your drop-down titles, you may just put out equal 80, equal 70, whatever you're going to put out there on your
Yeah,
title.
okay.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
I can do that. That'll work. I'll just fix that
Okay.
so it says equal to this or above for
Okay,
each
thank
of
you.
those. Yeah. Okay, let me make myself a note really quickly before I forget that. Okay. Then dropping down to this industrial section of the dashboard is where we included the mechanics portion of the work keys curriculum. And Jan is going to provide that introduction to applied technology activity with the crossword that is no longer a part of the work keys new curriculum that we wanted them to continue to complete. So that portion is going to have to be sent out to the field.
And I did send that document, and Pam, did you add the crossword to that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't add it to that document where I combined the other two. I sent it out separately. Because I had made it in a different program, but I sent it out separately.
Right. So they'll have two documents to create their own binder or however they want to set that up. Okay. Thanks, ma'am.
You're welcome. Because we only just looked at the cash handling kit and we haven't decided if that's going to be rolled out, that would probably be not until after January anyway. So I did not include that on this form so I didn't want to confuse people. But Melissa, here's where we were talking about the spatial relations test is still there, but that mechanical aptitude is now replaced by.
Right. Are you just wanting to get rid of that row or something, or?
What?
Oh, I thought you were asking how to get rid of the row.
No, I know how to get rid of the row. I was just telling you that to catch you up because you weren't in the other meetings, that the mechanical, the ARCO mechanical test.
Okay, so we're doing away with that, and it's being replaced by CRC?
By the CRC level 4 of the mechanics.
Okay.
And I believe that all of the links are working properly. I had Jan and Pam double check them. Melissa, I don't know if you had a chance to try it out.
Sorry, I haven't. I ran in here about 15 minutes till the time, and I haven't had to look at it.
Okay. But other than those drop-down menu changes, I didn't get any other feedback on things that needed to be fixed. And I'll go ahead and fix it so that we have the actual scores for those different curriculums in that drop-down list.
Thank you, Catherine. Does anyone have any other questions or anything about the dashboard?
It looks good.
Great, thank you.
Yes, I appreciate your work, Catherine.
Yeah,
okay, well, good. All right, we'll go ahead and move to the office technology options. and Pam sent out the lesson that she had set up, or the class that she had set up on applied skills curriculum. Did everybody get that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and this is also what Nancy said is going to be the pre-conference session. So that would be good too. So Pam, you want to tell us what you were able to find with this?
Yes, actually it matches kind of the lesson step by step as Technomedia does, except that it doesn't give you a list. After they watch the lesson, it doesn't give you a list of items or skills that they would need to try to complete to show that they've mastered. So there's no lesson that scores like Technomedia does. However, I did find today, and I did forward that to you, also the lesson plan for it, because my concern was that we would have to go through and just make a model copy of what the answer document should look like once they completed the skills. But I did find it today in the lesson plan, and I did forward that to you as well. And at the bottom of that lesson plan, it'll say student outcomes after video 1, the things that they should be able to do after video 2, 3, 4, and so on. And in the digital applied skills series, it has documents, it has the Google Sheets, it has PowerPoint, and it also goes on to tell them how to use Drive, Google Hangouts, the video chat. Of course, we don't need all that for Office technology, but it does have those options as well. I guess the only other issue, because it does have the lesson, would be to figure out how we wanted to grade the student progress.
Okay, does anyone have questions for Pam about this?
And I'm sorry, I don't think I got that email at 2:51.
You said you didn't receive either of them?
I got the one from at 2 o'clock. Well, no, I don't think I got it. Can you check to see if I'm... This is Lawana, I'm sorry. Do you see my name?
Right.
I shared. I think I'm still sharing my screen, and I put the lesson plan up.
Oh, yeah. Wait, am I on the right?
It does.
I think I signed out. Oh, no, I can't hear you. Okay. But I don't see it. Do you have it up, Catherine?
I do. Am I not? Is it not? It's not showing.
No.
Okay, let me see
No,
if
it's
I can.
still the dashboard,
It's
Catherine.
still that dashboard. Let me see if I can change it over.
Lawana, your email was on the email that Pam sent out.
Yeah, it may, I don't know, I wasn't connected, I don't know, I don't have it, so, but yeah, if you put it up on the, if you put it up on the screen, that'd be fine.
Try to forward it to you again.
I may not be connected.
I'm trying. I just can't find anything.
Think that out.
I got the one at 2:17, but I haven't been connected to the, well, I still should be able to pick it up though.
Catherine, did you say you had
Did you get it at 2:51 from Pam?
I am. I'm trying to figure out how to get Zoom to let me switch over to it.
Oh, you
though.
did get the one that had the link to the class?
No.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I got the one at 2:17. I just didn't get the latest one.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to get over to you guys share.
And I use 2 different emails.
Yeah, I mean, it says we're viewing your screen.
Huh?
It says that we are viewing Catherine Rasher's screen.
But you're just going, all you're seeing though is that Excel sheet, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all.
Have you clicked on share
Oh, wait a minute. Let me click stop
down at the
sharing.
bottom?
Okay, let me share. Let me go back to the different document. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay. I think I've got it now. Now you see the G Suite
Yep.
one? Okay, good.
Yep.
So this is the lesson plan for it. And then it gives you, this is what it should look like. The completed documents that they're supposed to be doing in the lesson plan. So it gives you the,
Mhm. Is that right?
it gives you the grading key. I'm sorry, you guys, that's our phone and I gotta answer it. Okay. So can you see it now, Pam?
Hold on just a second. Here. I'm in a different, let me go back to where I was. What happened to my screen? Oh, yes, I do. And so down at the bottom, it shows the student outcome
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom of that page. So really it tells us what it should look like once they've done everything. And I think that we could probably use that to give the teacher instructions about what they need to do. And then just look at their example. How we want to choose to grade is the issue, I guess, because it doesn't grade it. The teacher would have to grade it. So we would have to assign a certain amount of points for each skill or everything that they're being asked to do.
What we've done, because we do require them to do a project in Office, using the Shelley Cashman books, we just give it back to them and ask them to revise it, and we highlight, where the corrections are and tell them to look closer at those areas and go back to the tutorial and follow the directions, and then resubmit it.
Okay, and that's what I do normally with the Technomedia lessons. When I have a project for them, I don't take a grade on it, but I didn't know if a grade was going to be required this time, or we could just put the date that they completed.
Yeah, we usually make them go back and fix their errors, and we try to have them find their errors, but give them kind of a general area of what they need to go back and do, so that they're, learning along the way. But then once they've completed those corrections and changes, we give them an outcome.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
This is Melissa. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to say, is there a way that we can maybe just do a lesson checklist sheet where as they complete that we could just mark it off? Is that something we can do as a state, or would that just be on the local level?
That would be wonderful if somebody did do one after, they had their student do the first one, just kind of like a grading checklist guide. Is it in the right font? Is it in the right, size, font size, or all of those kinds of things, indentions, that you could just go down and just do a double, check for it.
Or even by lesson, if it's a checklist by lesson that's in Google Docs.
Mm-hmm. There's not how many lessons were we looking at, Pam, for this G Suite for docs, sheets, and PowerPoint?
For documents, there was 2 parts to it.
Okay.
There was a part 1 and part 2. And let me go back to the thing. And for the sheets, it was part 1, 2, and 3, I believe it was. But if you go in, the sheets is part 1, 2, and 3. The slides is part 1, 2, and 3. So that kind of correlates with what we had in Technomedia as far as the beginner, advanced.
Mhm.
I mean, intermediate and advanced lesson. And I think this is more suitable for what everybody could do, because all of us are using different versions of Microsoft Word. And so if we were going to try to do something using lesson plans with that, then that would vary so much. Each site would have to kind of tweak the directions to make it fit their particular version of Word.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a great option for those programs that have the internet, but then we still have that issue with corrections.
Right, and I guess in corrections, you could actually, I don't know if everybody has access to actually teach it without them being able to, to actually put it up on a projector or something like that to actually show them what to do, even though they're not able to do it, because I think somebody mentioned that last time at our last meeting, but I'm not sure everybody has capabilities to do that.
We don't in our classroom right now, but that is possibly something that we could get them to help us, to be able to do. But I think that this might be an option that we could ask the corrections folks when we meet with them about. If they're not willing to purchase Technomedia, they might be willing to go with this.
Right, because I guess they would only have to give you access, make their kiosk give you internet access, I guess.
Right, to this particular program.
Right,
to the class that you set up. And is there a way to do this without them having an email address, a Gmail address?
So far, I haven't found it. There may be one, but so far I haven't found it, but I'll look into it. And I have a contact person that I could also ask.
I think that would be really good, too, if we could know about that.
I think, this is Luana, I think we had said today that if we could pick out maybe 2 or 3 points in each one of these programs, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, that each group, we all could agree that these are the basic instructions that we want each and every program to teach. And I think if we can get to that, we may have to do different things at different locations. But I think the purpose for today was to try to come up with some kind of I guess a foundation for these classes and with the situation with the software.
I do have a suggestion. If you're wanting a guide to follow, you probably could print off, what Technomedia is already offering and see if we can't find something that mirrors that.
Well, and if I think Google Slides, this Google Digital actually does that pretty well, but at the same time, the link that Todd had sent out, that was a Microsoft, it was a paid version where you could get lesson plans from them, and I'm assuming that with those, because it only shows you a sample, I'm assuming that with those paid lesson plans, you also get the files that go along with those, and that might be a doable option that would be available to every center. But I don't know how to look further into that without maybe, I guess, someone from the state level going in to see if we could have a sample account or something to see what is actually offered in that.
Oh, you want to say that? Yes. Go ahead. Okay, here's Mr. Todd.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, why don't we just come up with a list of objectives we want accomplished in digital literacy?
Okay.
Then from that, we can determine what we need to do based on what we have available.
Right. We can do that from these lesson plans that are available in.
Around the idea here, I mean, it doesn't matter what version you use of the suite. If you're going to tell them to write a letter, you give them who you want it addressed to and tell them to write a letter after you've trained them on how to write a business letter. If you're going to have them to insert a table, you tell them what needs to be in the table and what you need accomplished in that table, and they insert a table. I mean, but we need a list of objectives. Otherwise, we're just batting around notions of digital literacy.
Right.
Okay, can I ask if we are supposed to teach the students? They're supposed to be taught the skill before we actually ask them to do it, right?
Correct. So we need to know what the objectives are. What do they need to know?
Right.
And then what they need to know outside of Microsoft Office. Do they need to know how to turn on a computer? Do they need to know how to open a file, create a file, all those kinds of things?
Well, I think we've already addressed that with the digital literacy. Right now, we're talking about the Office Technology Certificate.
Right. So if we just want to create a list of skills and a checklist for students for the Office Technology to have, whether we use the documents or the sheets or whether we use Office or Google, that they have the same skills.
I would just come up with a list of skills, objectives, whatever you want to call it. Start at the beginning level, whether it's employability, customer service, they're both interchangeable, and then work your way up the ladder.
Okay.
They're going to change to some degree, and then they'll be at the most in Office Tech, right?
Right.
Right.
Yes, but we do already have
Graduated list of objectives or whatever they need to have mastered.
Catherine, if you look in the Shelley Cashman book, there's a whole list of objectives that would help, trying to direct, because Shelley Cashman is just the basics and some of intermediate. I mean, that could possibly help you in figuring out what is our objective for each student, what do they need to learn, formatting a business, it's got formatting a business letter. I know merging is not part of Shelley Cashman book, but that's something that we could add.
Is that part of, I don't even think it's part of Technomedia, or was part of Technomedia either, merging.
Oh, but I do think merging and things like that is very helpful in the office,
Our biggest issue is that we do not have or will not have access to the Office software on the computers at the prisons. So we're
and I think there will be an issue with Google unless you're able to put it into Canvas and they open. But I think anything that goes into the internet is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I think so, because we'll actually have to have them go in and approve every single link, every place that it has to leave from that main site. They have to do all of those individually.
Every click through.
I guess my concern I understand what Todd is saying, and I know because we have the corrections and then we have everybody else. I guess my concern was that if everybody was, no matter what you're using, if you were using the same file to start it out, if you were using the same practice file, if every program had access to the same, or whatever it is that we're asking, if he says to write a letter, then everybody else has the same written guidelines for that.
But at that point, what are they writing a letter on?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Everybody needs to have the same, whatever the letter is. Everybody needs to have the same instructions and the same
I mean, if we're
information.
talking about corrections, right, do they even have WordPad on the computers?
No.
So,
No.
I mean, there is no way for them to create anything on a computer. It would just have to be handwritten on a piece of
Wait.
paper.
Right, unless they are willing to put a single computer in each classroom that has that on it available. And then, you know, if you have 20 students, then they're going to have to rotate out each of those things. Melissa, how many do you have at one time in your classes?
Well, we have a morning and afternoon, and we have a women's and men's unit. So at least 40 in the morning and 40 in the afternoon.
So would it be like 20 at each location then, maybe?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So there you've got 20 people having to use that same computer if they're all working on office technology. I mean, I guess it's doable if they're willing to do that for us. But that's the only way I know of that they're going to actually get to do those practical activities.
Madam President, again, this is Luana.
Yes.
I think what was supposed to be on the table today, we were looking at Microsoft Office, and we were looking at Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and we need to have some guidance or guidelines that we can share with everyone, that we're saying that when you teach or you expose your students to Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, these are the 3 or 4 criteria that have to be met or skills that have to be gained. Now, for the students that are in the prison system, that is a situation that we're still working through. I think we can get Jana and maybe a couple of people to go through the techno-media curriculum, since we don't necessarily understand what PC 130, PC 140, and PC 150, what that actually means, that we will pick out 2 or 3 things out of each one of these categories and teach it in a format that is manual at this point until we can work it out with the corrections department. But what we need to agree on at this level is what will they get that's the foundation in each one of these courses, and we need to agree to that. Now, whether the different programs expand upon that, that's okay. But this committee, we're charged with setting the baseline or the requirements for these classes, and I think that's what we need to get to today, because Technomedia goes away on the 30th. So if we can get a couple of volunteers to go through Technomedia, define what these are, and let's agree on 2 to 3 things that we want to accomplish out of each course. Now, one of the things that we did talk about, and I talked with Dr. Miles about it, is that if there is an agreement, if there's not an agreement at this particular point for those students who want to get the office technology certificate that are incarcerated and will be released, have a way for them to get some sort of, if you will, we called it like a comeback ticket or a ticket or a certification or a voucher or something, where they can come back and get their hands on at some point after release, and they can walk into a wage center. Now that will be an option that will have an opportunity for a student to engage after they are released. But up until that time, the curriculum, the instructions will have to be manual, and probably will not be available to be computer-based at this time.
Okay. I have some documents. I think, Catherine, you have projects that you use for your students afterwards, after Technomedia as well.
Yeah, but there's we can't just copyright them. There's copyright infringement on just making copies of those pages, but yes.
Okay, well, I have some documents that I actually typed up after each student, after they finish each module of Technomedia. I just have to go back and put objectives with them. But it's exactly the thing that was taught in the table of contents, Technomedia. Every skill that it asks the students to do, then I give them exercise and just see if they can do it outside of the program. So I will be willing to go back and look at that and just put some objectives with it and send those out to share.
Thank you.
That would be great.
That would be great. And I'm just being informed. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jana will not be back probably before the Technomedia situation will be out of it. So, but if we can't just agree, maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 things that you want us to that we all can agree on. I think if we can get that out as soon as possible, that would be great.
And I mean, Pam, it sounds like you've got something that we would be able to roll out fairly quickly.
Let me see.
At least to the locations that are not in corrections.
Right. Yes.
To be able to continue the office technology certificates.
Yes. And I will send these out. I will scan them, but anything on there that you feel like needs to be added, it's editable, and I'm willing to change it, or any objectives or anything else that you think needs to be added. I'm open.
That's great, Pam.
And I'm sorry, you said we would like to have something that could be usable for the teachers in corrections on October 1st, if possible.
I'm going to send you. I'll work on it, but I'm going to be out for 2 days.
All right, thank you. Thank you. And I don't know, Madam President, we had asked, or there was a question, or I know I had a question, if we could do a kind of a mini survey of the teachers that are in the correction facilities, just where are they with the students that they are working with now? How many people are in the process right now of getting their office technology certificate and need to have access to this Microsoft Suite next week? We need to know that as soon as possible.
Okay. I will try that. I've seen a couple of different things to those programs, and I've heard from some, not from others. But we need to know the number of students currently working on office technology.
Yes, ma'am. And where are they? Are they going to need this information next week, or are they still working with their students and maybe still doing some of the other coursework under office technology? Exactly where are they in the scope of completing this?
Okay.
If we can know that. And Melissa, that was one of the reasons why we wanted you to be on the call, so we could kind of get a feel from you of how is this going to affect your students on October 1st.
Okay, I will send out an email to my teachers asking for that number of how many. But the majority of all of our office technology comes from Wrightsville. I don't know what else to tell you there. I'll have to send out an email.
Okay, thank you. So again, so we all know we are, because that's like next Tuesday, and we don't want the teachers to be not prepared with students in the classroom. So if we can have something on paper that they can have on Tuesday, if they have students ready to, if they're closely approaching the Microsoft Suite aspect of their training. I just think that that's something that this committee, we need to have ready for them on Monday, really.
I guess for my teachers, they just know that it's fixing to go, the Technomedia is leaving. So at this time, we don't have access to essential education. The only thing that we can do is the computer literacy part. And right now, after September 30th, if we don't have anything in place, we can't offer the office technology certificate.
And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just we can. So my understanding, we can still offer the office technology certificate coursework. Is that correct? But we just don't have access to this portion of the curriculum. Is that not correct?
They can do everything except Word, Excel, and PowerPoint.
Okay, so we can't. So the wording is that so the wording, we can still offer office technology certificate in the prison system. We just don't have that particular component.
Right, and they won't be able to receive that certificate until that component is available.
And what we're saying in the interim is that we have manually 3 or 4 skill, what do you call them?
Lesson.
Well, I mean, objective skills that they can obtain via paper, manual, however we want to teach it to them in the interim, they can get the certificate. We can agree on what those things are.
Okay, I would think that I would need to look at those lessons again to make sure that I feel comfortable with it. So maybe Catherine, Pam, Melissa, maybe we can try to come up with a few of those today, tomorrow type thing, and then see what we can come up with as far as lessons.
Yeah.
Do we all feel comfortable with that?
I mean, until I see what, I'm sure that Pam has done a great job. But until we see it, we know what we're looking at. I mean,
Okay, I will have to. Let me just get those sent out to you this afternoon sometime, and then we can get together and talk about what the objectives should be. I think they are pretty clear about what we're asking them to do, but just so that we can agree on what the objectives are.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good starting point. And then that way, again, we can offer the students the golden ticket, and when they get out of the prison system, if they need to come back and want to get the hands-on, they can do that at the Wage Center or Adult Education Center. That may be an incentive for them to make that connection after they are released. But we don't want to put them at a disadvantage just because we don't have the Microsoft Office suite. We give them something, but then make the connection for them to return later. Now I know that's taking a long shot, but maybe this is a way to engage them afterwards. And that's only for this particular certificate because of what the situation we're in right now. We just got to think out the box. All right.
Okay, we will see what we can come up with on that then.
Okay, thank you.
So I think that we probably discussed everything then about the G Suite. We've talked about our options for the paper-based information, and Melissa, Catherine, Pam, and I are going to work on that, come up with that 3 to 4 points for each of those Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And we've already done what's in new business about the scores for the digital literacy and employability skills training. So unless someone has something else, then Luana, it's going to be your turn with numbers.
I'd like to say, too, if we can have kind of like a report back, maybe a short call on Thursday afternoon, maybe about 30 minutes, see where we are, so we can so we can see where we are before Monday.
I will be unavailable, but I will certainly give my input to Thursday.
Catherine and Jan, whoever else is helping with the objective for Word, Excel Access, and PowerPoint, can we just create a Google Doc that we can share?
Yeah, that would be way easier.
And add
Sure.
what we see into what we need?
Sure.
That?
Yeah, for us to be able to come up with those objectives for each of those, I think that'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pam, just like you did when you shared this document, that would be great.
Okay, I
For the
can.
G Suite stuff.
put it into Google Docs and share it. That's not a problem.
Okay, great. All right, so Pam cannot attend on Thursday. Anyone else have a preferred time on Thursday afternoon?
2.
You didn't log. Can you? Oh, you didn't think? Oh, sorry.
I'm sure they can, sure.
I did. Can y'all see my screen?
No. Okay, now I can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's shares. That's,
Yeah.
anything looking at the screen.
Oh. Y'all can see? We can see?
Yes, we can say now.
Okay. All right. These are the, this is the report that was ran on the 13th, and the report will change because I'm not sure why it's changing, but it is changing. Sarah ran the report, and we had 1,826. This is what I reported out on the 13th, and the question was asked, well, how many? I'm sorry, from 2018 through June 30th, 2019. And these are certificate numbers here. Bank teller, we had 46 certificates. Customer service 1, 525. Customer service 2, 269. Employability, you see that is 558. Industrial certificate 266, and the office technology certificate is at 162. The highest, of course, the highest office technology certificate, I think that group was, I think Pulaski Tech, I think you all had the highest number in the office technology certification. So this was the breakdown for that group. We will break it down a little later. We've got probably another 180 more certificates out there that need to be processed, and we will be processing and updating those every 2 weeks, 15th and the 30th. So this was kind of the breakdown for the year. We are still trying to reconcile what we have internally in-house versus what's in LACES. And there is a deficit on our side, but we just hope that we're going back through that process right now to make sure we've got all certificates accounted for. So what we will be asking in a couple of weeks, or here fairly quickly, is we're going to ask each center to send us the number of certificates that they have counted, that they have given out, so that way we can have some checks and balance of how many certifications or certificates that have been issued. And hopefully we will match up at the end. I'm not really sure if this is what you all were looking for, but if not, Jan, just let me know if there's some other detailed information that you need.
Okay, are you going to send out an email to those programs that you said that there were some that they didn't qualify according to the certificate request, so that they can check and make sure?
Yes. Yeah, we had almost 50 requests that came in at various times when I came on board that were here that the individual did not meet the minimum requirements, and we're not sure why the request was sent. So yes, that group or that center will get an email from me to ask the question, and that's just to verify maybe it's a reporting issue or something of that nature.
Right. It could have been typos on the certificate request or in LACES, because I know I've done both of those things and had to go back and make corrections.
Right. So, right now, we're just trying to get the ones out that people are requesting now. So that may be a little bit down the road before we get to that stack.
So, for the 1819, are we still working on that, or I'm still waiting on a lot of certificates from 1819?
Yes, yeah, there are still certificates that are in the queue that are as far back as January, February, March of 2019. I mean, they were requested then. We ran across a few last week that were requested back in December of 2018. And so the thing, what I figure has happened, and I don't know, like I said, I'm just 3-4 weeks into this. It seems like when there were multiple requests for a certificate, or if the completion date was not clear, because I had a couple where the request was for 2018. I'm sorry, the request was for 2019, but they didn't enroll until. I'm sorry, the request was for 2019, but they didn't enroll until, what am I trying to say? The request was for 2018, but they didn't enroll until 2019. So that just means that the years were wrong. And so so we have to go back to LACES to make sure what the correct date is. So yes, there are some that were actually completed in 2018. And those requests are, we're processing those too. So that's the reason why the numbers are still changing.
Well, 162 Office Technology certificates is pretty significant. So we do need to figure out something that they can use right away in October.
I would say so, yes. Yeah, and I think that's what we left it on the 13th of September when we met that Friday, that we knew that there was going to be a gap there if we didn't have anything in place on Tuesday, October the 1st.
Do you guys feel comfortable going back to the Google Digital Literacy as giving those as an option for the centers that do have internet access?
Did y'all hear Scott? I mean, Todd. I call you Scott.
I've been called Scott before.
I don't like, ooh, it's
Catherine,
Scott.
I think once we have our list of objectives, we can make a clearer decision on what
Okay.
we can and may not want to look at using. But until we know what exactly we need to achieve, I mean, to me, it'd be difficult to make a decision.
If we can get that done by Thursday, are you available Thursday morning, Pam? Or are you just not available Thursday at all? Hello?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. No, I'm out. I have a surgical procedure on Thursday, so I won't be available.
Okay. Well, how about Wednesday at 5 o'clock?
No, I'm not available.
All right, well, let's just try to just have a meeting of the minds.
Yeah, I will have whatever it is that I need to contribute. I will have that done by Wednesday.
Okay, all right. Well, you
At the latest.
take care, Miss Pam, okay?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So what time on Thursday?
Just,
I'm
let's just,
open.
5 o'clock? Oh. 1 o'clock. Okay. 1, 2. How about 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock works for me.
Yeah, I'm good with either of those.
All right, so Miss Marcia,
Yes.
help us out again.
Yep, I will set it up and send it out.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
All right, Ms.
Anything
Pam.
else? Does anyone have anything else?
Are we still doing our own employability certificates? Because I got some in the mail, and then there were some I didn't get in the mail.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. I was certificate crazy. So yeah, you can go ahead and give those out since you already got a nice certificate for it. But you will receive the rest of them via email.
Okay. All right.
Melissa, are you doing your own certificate, or are you printing the employability certificate when they email them?
I'm printing them when they email them.
Okay, that's what I thought. So any employability certificates, no one's going to get until after they're emailed from the state, Luana.
I know it, unless you got a nice, nifty new one in the mail. Some of them I didn't know, so I was just making them. So some people didn't get one. So yeah, will be coming in the email from this point forward.
Yeah, I've got some, but I almost hate to hand them out without them being complete because they'll be asking, "Where's my employability?" You know. So I'm just waiting for some of my employabilities to come in, and.
When you say for them, you have to give them out until they're complete. What do you mean?
Well, they've earned all 5, 6 of them, and when I take them to the prison, it's just a lot easier to give it to them in a package of, of everything they've completed. Also, some of those folks may have already left the prison, so I'll have to email all that or mail all of it together. So if they've already left, I need the whole packet to mail to them and not, one here and one there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's the way we do ours as well.
Okay, point taken.
It's a little pressure for you.
All right.
Okay, unless anyone has something else, I thank you, and we will adjourn and meet again on Thursday, 2 p.m. on a conference call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Bye.
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 Bye.